This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, this is Sally Handley, author of the Holly and Ivy Cozy Mystery Series. And today I'm with award-winning author, Elsie Hayden. Elsie is the author of three mystery series, Harry Bronson, Aimee, Brent, and Connie Weaver Mysteries. Additionally, she writes inspirational and children's picture books. And for aspiring authors out there, Elsie has written a book entitled Help, I Want to Write. So she's got quite, the depth and breadth of your work leaves me breathless. And Elsie, why don't you tell us a little bit about your writer's journey and how did you get started writing?
Well, I've always enjoyed writing, and I was one of those that when the teacher assigned a composition, everybody wrote this much, and I wrote that much. And then I became a teacher, and I hated those who wrote that much, but I always enjoyed it. But the getting published is different than the writing part. And the getting published is kind of unique in the sense that I had this teacher who was extremely hard, and you turn in a paper to him and you have the word "the" over here and the word "the" down in here, and he circled them and going, repetition, can't you use different words? And so every time you did a paper for him, you sweated and everything else. Well, then we had this term paper due, which was 30 pages typewritten. This is before computers, so you had to put it in through the computer with the bibliography and underneath that, the number one, number two, number three, your footnotes and etc. And so I worked and worked and worked and worked on it, and I've really sweated it. Finally, I got it all finished, and I go, yes, I finished it. And we still have 2 days before I have to turn it in. I'm going to look at it and make sure that everything is okay. Then I remembered I had another term paper due on the same day with a different professor. And I
Oh
go,
boy.
no, I forgot all about him. So I picked up the paper from the hard teacher, and I picked up all I could from the other teacher, went to the library, set it all in here, did my research, and started typing and trying to get my whole other term paper done and everything. About 2 o'clock in the morning, I go, I am so tired. I'm just going to proofread tomorrow before I have to turn them in. I'll just wake up a little early. So I packed everything in, went home, went to sleep, woke up the next morning about 5, reached for this paper. Everything looked okay. I go, great. Reach for this paper, and I said, where is it? Where is it? Everything for that hard teacher was gone. I ran back to the library, to the place where I did the research. Everything's gone. The paper, the outline, the bibliography, the note cards, the thesis paper, everything. And here I had a day to do it.
Oh
So
boy.
as much as I could, I sat there and I read it, redid it, redone everything, and I turned both of those papers in. Well, on the one from the normal teacher, I got an A, and he says, this is a super paper. You should even consider getting this published. Just take away the footnotes and etc., and you got a publishable paper. From the hard teacher, I got my paper back. It only had one comment on it. I got a C, and it said, and you want to be a writer. Huh. So I went back to the first professor and I said, how can I get this published? And he showed me, and within 2, 3 months, it was published. So I went to the professor and I want to be published. Ha! And that's how I became a published author.
I think it's interesting. I think a lot of people do things to show that I can. If you're told you can't, you must show that you can. And
There
that's
you go.
like you're that kind of person, Elsie. Now, you care to tell us a little bit about how the name ELSIE became L period C period?
Sure. I used to write for Treasure Magazine, To Treasure, Treasure Search. There were like about 10, 12 titles of Treasure magazines. And again, this is before computers. So I typed up the first paper. My husband took all the pictures and we sent it away to the Treasure magazines. And it came back, Dear Elsie, ELSIE, this is a great article, but we just assigned this one to somebody else. And I said, oh, no. So then we went out, did the research for another one, turned it in, and it came back, Dear Elsie, Elsie. We are so sorry. This is a great article, but we already have one done by somebody else. And I did the third one and the fourth one, and they was always coming back with, Dear Elsie, Dear Elsie. So I looked at my husband and I said, why are they not publishing me? Look, he picked up the magazine. He goes, look at the people who write these articles: Steve, Mike, Harry, John. No Susies, no Marys, no Elsies. So I took the very first paper, the very first page, put it back in the computer. I didn't change a single thing except for my name. Instead of by Elsie, I wrote by L period C period, and it was immediately published. So was the second and the third and the fourth. And so that's how I became L.C. Hayden.
Wow. It's a difficult world for women for sure. And that was brilliant to be able to do that and still have it sound like your name. I love that story. I think it's great. And once again, you didn't let somebody stop you. I love it. Now let's talk about your most recent book, When Danger Follows. It's the seventh book in the Harry Bronson series, right?
It is. It is. I wanted it to be more than just a mystery thriller. I want emotions in there. I want feelings. I want when people to read my books, I want them to say, yeah, that's an excellent story. But hey, I can really relate. I want them to cry. I want them to laugh. I want them to feel good. I want them to feel bad. I want to touch the reader's emotions. And so, specifically with this book, I really attempted that. Bronson has a partner that he's worked with like forever, and they're really, really tight. And he gets in danger, and it seems that he has been killed, and you go through all of those emotions. You also see Bronson has a dog, Basenji, which is, by the way, my dog. Um, but in the book, he has the dog, and she tries to save his life, and the bad guy shoots her, and Bronson doesn't know whether the dog got away or he killed her, but he can't go to the dog because he has this woman and a child to try to rescue. And so you have all of these emotions, like I gotta help you, but I wish I was with my dog, and that kind of thing. And then Bronson, unlike the other characters in other mysteries, he loves his wife. They are really close. They are inseparable. She's the boss in the family. And here you see Bronson always like, oh, I am Bronson. But in the family, he's, yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. That kind of thing. So I do like to play with the reader's emotions. And I especially do so in this book.
And I can testify to that, having read the book. And I did very much enjoy the relationships of the characters, and the fact that he was a good husband and a caring person. So yeah, you definitely achieved your goal there.
Thanks.
Now I was first introduced to your writing with your award-winning The Last Ghost Dance,
Mhm.
which was book 3 in your Aimee Brent series. And tell us a little bit about this character, Aimee, and how you selected a journalist as your sleuth.
When I was in college, I majored in journalism. And so when I was writing the Bronson books, I would sit there and write a Bronson book, and then another Bronson book, and then another Bronson book. And then I said, wait a minute. I'm wondering if I'm getting burned out on Bronson. I want every story to be better. This is where my book is. The next one is better. The next one is better. The next one is better. And if I stick with Bronson, I'm going to get stale. I'm going to start using the same things, the same ideas, and I want something new. So what can I do? I don't want to just sit there and go do 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 do. So I decided I am going to get a new character. So thus, Aimee Brent was born. I was a journalism major in high school, college. And I said, so this would be great. I can have a journalist because I already know everything. I started writing the Aimee Brent series, and I realized I didn't know anything about journalism because in the journalism that I took, you took the pictures and you actually took an actual picture and you cropped it by drawing a line like this, and then you moved everything down like that in proportion. In order to make a headline, you had to count the letters and the width of the letters. Like an M was worth 2 points, but an N is only worth 1 point. A period is worth 1 point, half a point. The space is half a point, and you had to add them up so that it can fit in there, or add and subtract words to make it look right. And now with computers, it's like, there it is. So I had to learn journalism all over again. But it was a fantastic journey to do this.
Yeah, and it was a great book. Which book award did that win?
The 2023 Thriller Year, a finalist for the Thriller of the Year award.
Yeah, another book I highly recommend to our listeners. Um, Now, which of your series came first? Oh, so essentially what you're saying, Harry Bronson came first, then Aimee came
And
second.
then
Do you work on them concurrently or separately all the time? How do you balance and the working on different series with different characters?
I do, first of all, I do it separately simply because I want to focus strictly on Bronson. When I write a Bronson book, I become Bronson. And my whole
Ah.
mind, my whole life, it's like we're eating dinner and somebody says, hey, do you like spaghetti? Does Bronson like spaghetti? What would he not like about it? And people are like, gee, lady, you sure are weird. you know, I just immerse myself, so I work separately. The
Okay.
only exception is when I have a series about miracles and angels, true stories. And when I work on that, I can work a mystery and an angel simply because the stories that I do for the miracle series, they're short stories, 2 to 3 pages long. And I can write that, get it
Yeah.
all out, really merge, and then I'm right back emerging to Bronson. Then I
Yeah.
need a little break and I can do another inspirational story. So, but from the mysteries themselves, strictly each.
I can understand that. I can understand that. I'm very intrigued by the Connie Weaver series. Now, when I read the blurb, you had me at the words stolen treasure, right? So tell us a little bit about Connie and whether or not you plan to write more books in that series.
Well, I live in El Paso, Texas, and El Paso is known for a lot of folklore, especially buried treasure, hidden things. And El Paso has this vast system of tunnels that go from Mexico underneath the Rio Grande and into El Paso. And so a
Oh,
lot of stories can come in, about these tunnels. So Secrets of the Tunnels, of course, deals with that, plus the treasures that been here and taken and missing and etc. And so I do plan to write another. I only have one right now, but I do plan to continue with the Aimee Brent series
okay.
because treasures are fascinating to me.
Now, what is Connie? Tell us a little bit about the sleuth in that book.
Connie is completely a well, she was an abused woman. Her husband was very
Ah,
restrictive, and you cannot do this, you cannot have any friends, you cannot anything. And one day she just said, I have to protect our son. And so she managed to get the courage to pick up her son and run away with him. Of
ah,
course, her husband and the other bad guys go after her and stuff. And so she tries to hide and etc. She gets mixed up with the tunnel things and with a detective. And so that is the basic premise. So she
okay,
is a amateur sleuth, I would say.
okay, okay. Very interesting. Okay, very different from your other characters. I admire that. Um, Now, your books are very different one from another. Do you have to do a lot of research?
I do. And my best type of research is on hand. simply because, yeah, I can do it on the internet, but it's not the same as actually being there. If I want to know about poisons, I can read all about it on the computer. But if I talk to a person and they start talking about poisons and they say, "Oh yeah, and did you know that? Oh my gosh, that's interesting," and
Yeah.
I get a
Yeah.
lot more information. And my only rule is I will never ever let my character have more fun than me. Like Amy Brent had to learn how to scuba dive in order for her to accomplish her task. And
Wow.
well, I learned to scuba dive because she couldn't scuba dive unless I scuba dived. And Harry
Wow.
Bronson drives a motorhome and gets into trouble all over the United States. Well, I have to have a motorhome and drive through the United States and get, well, no, I don't get in trouble, but that's beside the point.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's great. You're very hands-on then in your research. Um, I read in your website that God and family are very important to you.
Sure.
And you say the world needs love and kindness. I take it those are words that you live by.
I definitely live by them. I I think I still see the world with rose-colored glasses. There's a little girl inside of me that will always see it. And if you're kind, you're going to receive kindness. If you are happy and give happiness to others, you're going to make others people feel better. And if we all could do this, then it would be such a better world to live in. And so that's kind of like my motto, which is kind of dorky, but I still like it.
Yeah, I think we need a little dorkiness for sure in the world today. I don't think that hurts anybody for sure. So, what is immediately next for you?
Right now, I'm writing another Miracle and Angel book, and then I'm going to go back to Harry Bronson. So I'll be doing another Harry Bronson after I do the thing. Although Amy Brent is kind of going, bleep, 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 choose me instead, choose me. And so I'm kind of like, no, Amy, you wait until Bronson and yeah, but you just did a Bronson, so you got to pick me, 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 me. So don't be surprised if it's an Amy Brent that comes afterwards.
So, your characters definitely speak to you, huh?
Oh, yes, they do. Most definitely. They are my companions all the time.
I love it. I love it. Now, where can people find your books and do you have a website? Tell us what that is.
My website is the letters LC um, website, Elsie Hayden at Yahoo.
.com.
No, that's well, that would be my,
LCHayden.com.
yeah. My website is www.lchayden.com.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
that would be my website. You can see all the books in there. Probably the best place to get them, like with everybody else, is through Amazon.
Yeah.
Just Google Elsie Hayden and go through Amazon, and you'll see all of my books in there. I got horror novels, I got inspirational, I got the fiction and nonfiction inspirational, I got the mysteries, I got the how to, I have short stories, I have a whole bunch of
Great.
stuff that people can choose from.
Okay. So now if they go to your website, is there they can email you and reach you from the website if somebody wanted to
There
contact you?
is a contact button, and you just
Great.
hit the contact button, and then they can email me, and they'll come directly to my email, and then I'll answer them and stuff. And I always love to hear from readers. So yeah, I would definitely
Great.
answer those.
Great. Well, Elsie, it has been wonderful speaking with you, and I look very much forward to the next in all three of your series. So keep on writing, and we'll keep on reading you.
Thank you, Sally. This has been absolutely wonderful. And just let me take the time to say that you also are a great writer.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I did not pay her to say that.
You did too. No, just kidding.
Okay, so we're signing off from Malden, South Carolina, and El Paso, Texas. If anybody enjoys this, please subscribe to the mystery to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, and enjoy your reading.
Thank you.